of 2019. I now call up H.R. 3362 and ask unanimous consent to discharge Subcommittee on Aviation from further consideration of H.R. 3362 and it be considered as read and open to amendment at any point. Without objection, so ordered. I would recognize myself. I support the bill introduced by Representative Miller of West Virginia. The FAA Reauthorization Act 2018 included a requirement that medium and large hub airports develop nursing rooms and baby changing tables for the convenience of parents traveling with infants. That was a tremendous step in the right direction, but there's still a large number of airports that the law did not cover. This bill enhances that provision by requiring small hub airports to develop nursing rooms and baby changing tables also. As small hub airports work to meet these important requirements for traveling mothers, it's more important than ever the committee worked to provide airports additional funding to ensure airports are better positioned to comply with any federal mandates. Increasing the cap on the PFC would provide additional funding. Without this, I know that airports, especially small hub airports, will have to make tough decisions on which capital projects to fund and which to defer in order to comply with the law. This is a very good bill, but it'd be even better if the airports had additional funding allocated through this committee. I support this bill, urge my colleagues to do the same, and I now recognize Subcommittee Chair Larson to explain the bill.
Well, thank you, Chair DeFazio. I support H.R. 3362, the Small Airport Mothers Room Act of 2019, introduced by Representative Miller of West Virginia. I want to thank Representative Miller for bringing this bill forward. She's been active on the committee and active on aviation issues, and appreciate this bill. Moms should have access to safe and clean environments to nurse as needed, and all parents should have safe and clean environments to take care of their children. Airports across the country should provide families with these necessary environments within passenger terminals similar to other public spaces. And this bill requires small hub airports to maintain a nursing room for mothers with infants and a baby changing table and at least one men's and one women's restroom in each passenger terminal by fiscal year 2023. By adhering to this requirement, airports are eligible to receive federal funding to develop these spaces under the FAA's Airport Improvement Program. This legislation builds on bipartisan FAA reauthorization that was enacted last year, which requires medium and large hub airports to meet these requirements by fiscal year 2021. This bill also clarifies that a waiver to develop nursing rooms can be granted only if the Secretary of Transportation determines that construction or maintenance would make establishing a nursing area impracticable or unsafe. However, all airports will still be required to maintain baby changing tables. There are many well-documented benefits of access to designated and hygienic nursing areas, and it is essential to maintain access for all families. So I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 3362, the Small Airport Mothers Rooms Act of 2019. Thank you very much, and I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. I would now recognize Ranking Member Graves for a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 3362, it's a good bill. It obviously makes it easier for mothers traveling by air. You know, traveling can be stressful for everyone, especially families with small children and mothers with infants. This supports a good bipartisan goal, giving American mothers an easier experience when using our nation's transportation system. And I want to thank, along with everyone else, Mrs. Miller for introducing this important bill that ensures mothers are going to be accommodated whether traveling to or from large, medium, or small hub airports. With that, I'd urge my colleagues to support the bill and yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now recognize Representative Miller, sponsor of the bill.
Thank you, Chairman DeFazio and Ranking Member Graves. I rise today in support for my bill, H.R. 3362, the Small Airport Mothers Room Act of 2019. My legislation would require small hub airports to construct mothers' rooms, which are areas where mothers can nurse their children and tend to their needs in privacy. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 required all large and medium hub airports to construct mothers' rooms by 2021. My bill would help fill the remaining gap and similarly require small hub airports to install a mother's room, extending this coverage to 97% of all travelers. Traveling with infants, while rewarding, can often be very stressful for new mothers. This bill helps lessen this anxiety and helps allow mothers to have a quiet, private space to care for their young ones. Thank you to the staff of the Aviation Subcommittee and to the full T&I Committee staff for your assistance with this legislation. I urge passage of this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
I thank the gentlelady for her initiative and for this legislation. And are there other members who wish to address the legislation? Hearing none. Are there amendments to H.R. 3362? Seeing, hearing none. The question is now on adoption favorably reporting H.R. 3362 to the House of Representatives. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved and reported favorably.